What is going on, guys? It's your boy Slick, and today we're here to talk about APFSDS on the Type 74. So yes, I did a stream video on this tank, but I knew it would do well, and I wanted to talk about how I feel about APFSDS coming to the L7. One, I like it. So the first thing is, if you should grind this round if you have the Type 74, is most definitely you need to grind this. This is a great round. I think it's definitely the best option on any 105 mil. I think it's actually the easiest round to use in game. Now, I've noticed that Heat FS does have better damage, after, like, post-pen damage. It does more work after it pens the armor. But the problem with that is how you get it to the armor. It has way more arc, it's a slower traveling round, and you have to worry about MBTs and T64s when you run into them. With this, you don't have to worry about anything. You can literally kill anything on the battlefield from the front, side, rear, back, angle, doesn't matter. You can get a shot through somewhere with this round, which makes it so good. It is just a fantastic round. Now, when you put it on a platform like the Type 74, it's a Leopard just with a second longer reload. It literally does everything the Leopard A1A1 does, almost as good, if not better, in certain areas. Only thing is, it's Japanese and has a better turret. So I want the A1A1 to get APFSDS, or a variant of the Leopard 1 to get APFSDS. First off, I want to make that apparent, because this round is that good. You'll see me using it here, and I mean, you've seen me use APFSDS before. It's very similar to what's on the Rise, if not the same. It might be the same, I don't know. Pen stats, exactly. But it might be the same. I think this thing goes through 368 is its highest pen point at 10 meters or something like that. But you don't have to worry when you aim at something, you just have to kill it. Now, when you're using this round, you have to aim for the ammo, similar to Heat FS. Crew is secondary resort, in my opinion. You always ammo rack with this. I've noticed it always ammo racks if I hit the ammo. But sometimes I just don't hit the ammo and I get super unlucky. Play styles for it, if in case you're wondering, you just play it the same as you'd play any other tank. I mean, it's the Type 74. It's kind of like a Leopard. Performance very similar to the Leopard. It has a great turret and spall shield, which is good. It's got a 150mm spall shield plate behind 300mm of mantlet armor, I think, or effective 300mm. So the tank's not the easiest thing to pen, surprisingly enough, and that makes it really good. So that's about it for the APFSDS. I mean, surprise, surprise, I like it. I think it was a good addition, and I think this tank at 8.7 is actually pretty good. So let's talk about 8.7 and like the BR changes at the top tier meta. So 8.7 for this tank, some people were confused, and myself included, as to why the STB went down to 7.7 and this went up to 8.7. I understand the APFSDS adds justification for the 8.7, and I think that this tank's in a good spot. I don't think it really needs to move. But the STB is in possibly the worst spot in the game right now. It is way too good. The stabilizer on a gun, on a tank platform, should I say, that can do what it does is not necessary at 7.7. It needs to stay either 8.0 or go up to 8.3. And that's just my honest opinion. You can get mad at me for it, and you can get mad because you like clubbing in the STB, but man, it is a Leopard with a stabilizer at 7.7. If you get a 7.7 game, it's the best tank at that tier. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that I think the STB is the best tank at 7.7. I actually, when these tanks first came out, I did better in the STB at top tier than I did in the Type 74. I had better stats in it and stuff, taking out in the same matches. Now that it doesn't have APFSDS, I think that the Type 74 deserves a higher BR than the STB. But I don't think the STB is outclassed all the way up to 8.7 even. I mean, it gets APDS and Heat FS. It can take out MBTs and T64s, it's just not all the time. It doesn't mean it can't face them, though. I think if the Leopard 1, well, not the Leopard 1, I think if the Leopard A1A1 is at 8.3, or is it at 8.3? I think it's at 8.3. I think that the STB should match that at least. I mean, I think it's the same, pretty much the same tank. The only thing the Leopards have on the STB and the Type 74 at the moment is really reload. They both reload in 7.1 seconds. I think these aced are 8.1. And, I mean, maybe some speed in different areas. I think the Leopard's better on hard surfaces. I think the STB is better on soft surfaces. I could be completely wrong. I think the acceleration's better on an aced STB or Type 74 than it is on a Leopard. They're very similar, though. I mean, they're so similar that it doesn't really even matter how you compare them. They're pretty much identical. I think the turret is just the biggest strength of the Type 74, and I think the Leopard has better strength in the fact that it doesn't have to use suspension to get good gun elevation or good gun depression. It kind of just does it, which is kind of nice for those tanks. I still like the Leopard, but I'm not too afraid to admit that these tanks are definitely competitors, if not just as good as the Leopards right now. So I think that the BRs need to justify that. I don't think a stabilized platform that is like a Leopard. I would say the same thing if the Leopard 1 had a stabilizer. I think like they don't need to be, they don't need to be anywhere. They're too good for 7.7. You're telling me a mouse and an STB are anywhere equal? They can face each other now. Just think about that comparison and let that sink in. Now the mouse is a different story. You can't really help the mouse without hurting a lot of things, and I know it sucks to think about, but the mouse is in a very weird spot. So there was 2 of them built, right? It's still technically, it was a prototype tank. It didn't really work, and I don't think it would have worked. So we need to take that with a grain of salt. Not many other nations have that type of tank. We can complain about what these tanks face, but the fact of the matter is the mouse wasn't widely produced. It wasn't like it actually came into the tech tree. So at 7.7, we have a fictional, well, not fictional, but we have a prototype mouse, right? We know what the gun does, but the armor is bonkers for AP rounds. I mean, it really is. You can face anything all the way up to like an IS-3 with the best round, and they still have a lot of trouble penning you. So if you put this thing at 8.0, or if you put it at 7.3, think about the tanks that it would face. It would face 6.3 tanks. Would you ever want to be in a 6.3 tank facing a mouse? I don't want to be in a 6.7 tier tank facing a mouse. They scare the fuck out of me. So the problem is you can't put the mouse down and you can't raise it. So the only solution would be to pull everything away from it. And then is it really worth pulling everything away from one tank so one tank can be played? And maybe some people like the mouse that much and they want it to be useful, but I want you guys to know, like, that's just not how a democracy type thing will work. Not enough people play the mouse to be doing that. But the construction is back. I think that's my cue that they're off work again. They're back on work, and I'm going to need to go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoy the rest of the video with the Type 74. I think it was just a great game that I had. I was very fortunate to have a backup because I got pinched up there in the beginning. The Leopard didn't come help me with the T62, and it was bad. But regardless, we made a good game out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about APFSDS on the Type 74 in the description. Don't write it in the description. That means you're on my YouTube account. I'm scared. Write it in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.
terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in axe and sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks.